Hey, Margie. Hello, hello. Welcome back. I am so happy to see you back. I have missed your sassy self. We're starting early. I had the Queen's permission, so we're starting early. Just a couple minutes. That'll give people a chance to get their notification and get in so we can get going because this is a lot of fun. Oh, man. Let's see if I can get YouTube functioning right here. While smacking my camera around. Let's see. Uh-oh, I lost Margie too. All right, well, we're live, and hopefully, I know I went live a few minutes early, probably 3 or 4 minutes early, and hopefully that'll give the notifications a chance to get to people and let y'all get your computers on, your phones on while you're wrapping Christmas presents. Whatever you're doing, I realize you may have your self real busy with holiday preparations, but still hope you'll jump in chat and say hello. Tell us what you're doing. Always love to hear what everybody else is doing for the holidays and what kind of presents you're wrapping. If you're doing gifts, if you're not doing gifts, all the things. But now I'm wondering if my... let's see. Okay, is anybody in here? Because now I'm questioning whether StreamYard is working properly. And can you hear me? That's the biggest question. Can you hear me? Let's see. All right, looks like we have a couple people here, but if somebody can jump in chat and let me know, can you hear me? Let me get that volume way down there. There we go. Okay. I don't know yet. I don't see a comment yet from anybody since I've gone live, whether you can hear me or not. So if you are in the live, and you can. Okay, Jill, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I can see that there's a couple people here, but I couldn't tell if anybody can actually hear me. So, and I did start early, so I don't know. I'm just excited. It's almost Christmas, and I'm not wrapping gifts. I know a lot of you are, but I'm playing with stuff, and excited to tell you about this technique. And I'm trying to give it to 12 o'clock straight up before we really get started because, you know, people who have their alarm set for 12 o'clock, I went live 4 minutes early, and that's going to throw people off. So, but it gives me a chance to chat with those that are here. So awesome. Welcome, welcome everybody who is here. We do have a prize pack today. Prize pack all ready to go. So Margie has started us off with a super chat. The prize pack, as y'all know, every time we go live, we have a prize pack giveaway. We do it at the end of the live, so you can see right here who wins it. Anybody who supports the channel with a super chat of any amount throughout today's live will get in the drawing for that prize pack. Jinkum and Frank, yeah, that is Margie. Margie is back. She has been gone for a couple of months, and I am so happy to have her sassy pants back. Happy that she's feeling better. Yeah. Well, and don't look at that as a bar. You know, you don't have to meet Margie's bar. Hey, Melanie. Can hear and see you on my TV, but can only hear you on my phone. Well, that's weird. You can't see me on your phone? I wonder if anybody else is having problems. Jill, you're probably on your phone or iPad, huh? What was I thinking? Morning. Good morning. Oh, this whole thing with YouTube going to the handles instead of your real names still has me thrown off because I can't remember everybody's names. So what was I thinking? You got to tell me again. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just really have a hard time remembering everybody's names. Margie has been Jinkum of Frank since day one. Lucy, there you go. Thank you, Lucy. My Lucy just perked her head up. What? Oh man. I guess that's probably a permanent thing, and I better get used to it and start remembering people's names. But that's been a little bit difficult for me. No, but only using phone to post my nonsense. There you go. We love your nonsense. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's see. Go out. Margie's having problems getting her chat up. So we definitely want you in here, Margie. Try going out, even, I don't know, even going completely out and sound, but no chat. Well, that's weird. Did you accidentally hit that little thing that disappears chat? Hey, Glynis. I'll tell Lucy, my dog, hi. I'll give her, she's a boxer, and she's sweet, 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 sweetheart, and I'll give her loves. Oh, you've met her, Jill. You know Lucy. You know Lucy. Yes. Okay. So momigami. We often hear this called momigami. It really is. I've done a lot of research on this. Momigami is a Japanese term, and it literally means kneaded paper, like KNEAD, knead, like knead bread dough, like kneading something like that. Kneaded paper. That is the art of momigami. And it is more of a mo than a ma, technically. Everybody does their own thing, and I'm not perfect on everything either, but I did a bunch of research on this because I hear so many different things, and I really wanted to know from the Japanese perspective, the truth about it and how you say it, how you do it, and all of that. And I've learned a lot of things because I've seen this for a number of years, people doing it, and I've learned a bunch of stuff. I'm going to share some things with you today. So really, we could actually do 3 lives on this. One is the momigami, what it is and how to do it. We're going to do that today. But the second could be how to take this then and elevate it for use. And that probably could be tied into, we're going to do a little bit of that today, actually. And then we'll probably do a little bit more of that when we do the third kind of thing around it, which is, what has happened? Oh, woo-wee. You're back now. Margie, you that's really weird because all of a sudden my video disappeared and your chat came back. So, okay. Is my video back? Okay, good. Hi, Kathy. Welcome. Hopefully the audio didn't go when the video went. I don't know what that was, but I was able to fix it here, but that is really weird. I'm not even near my computer or touching it, but I could see on it why my video was gone. So I I reached over to the laptop and hit, what would bring the video back. So that was really weird. Anyway, momigami, there's what it is and how to do it. There's ways to elevate it after you've done it. And then there's how do you use it? And so it's really kind of 3 parts. So what I'm going to do is take that middle part of how to elevate it and things you can, ways to elevate it and kind of break that in half. And today will be like what it is and how to do it and a little bit of how to elevate it. And then on another day, we'll do how to use it and we'll add some more how to elevate it into that because there are a lot of different uses for momigami. So I want to make sure I don't miss any names as we're going through here. I got Margie in on the drawing. I got Glynis. Thank you, Glynis. Thank you. Anybody who supports the channel with a super chat gets in the drawing for the video. Hopefully your video's back now, Margie. You might have a big delay, and so your video might just be gone. Back in a sec. Okay. So if you are new, we do have a prize pack that we give away every time we go live. I'm just going to move that out of the way. At the end of the live, we do the drawing, and so you get to see today who wins. And we do that live. That is always a lot of fun. So anybody who supports the channel with the super chat in any amount gets in that drawing. Let's get into Momigami. Okay, so first of all, Momigami is kneaded paper. And so it is paper that has been kneaded, like you would knead bread, like that. And when it's done, it ends up being very fabric-like, which makes it really cool to use. Because this, for example, a lot of you will recognize it. This is tissue paper, and it is very strong and fabric-like. But this is some of that tissue paper that was in the subscription boxes. We also sold some at this last sale. The one that's newspaper, it's huge. It's like 30 inches, 30 by 30 or something. And so this is just a piece of it. Here's another, little piece of it. But it's really cool. It's almost like, it turns out like a glassine, but like a glassine fabric. Okay, here's another piece of that tissue paper. I didn't bring any of the just regular tissue paper because y'all know what that is like. But it's very glassine-like after doing Momigami on it. Have to see which is the right side. Don't even know there. Okay, so I'm going to show you first some different ones that I've done because some of you I know are wanting to do it along with me, and you're wondering what kind of paper should I use? What do I need? And so let's talk about that right now. These are just recently done, and these are still a little bit oily. I've not completely worked those in. So these tissue papers, you can see it looks a little wet. There's a little bit of oil still on that. This one does not look wet at all. And this is a thicker, actually, this is a paper bag. I decided it would be really cool to do a paper bag and have it turn out like glassine-like. Yeah, so this is packing paper. So essentially the same thing, although I have found that there are different qualities of packing paper, but just brown packing paper, it is so cool that it is now, like pieces of fabric, the things that you can do with this. So that is this, just brown packing paper. And this one is white packing paper, just this cheap white packing paper. And this one is just a page out of a magazine. I don't remember for sure if this one was out of a National Geographic or an ad book like this, just a page. These are great. Anything that has lots of color and is bright, you'll find that the darker the page that you do, the darker it turns out. And so if you have something lighter, because by virtue of putting your product on it, it makes it darker. So like, check these out. These had some really cool images on them. These are Nat Geo pages. So here's just a couple of National Geographics that I was tearing out of. And these had some really cool things on them, but they're fairly dark in color. And so when you do this, it just makes them darker. But I'm telling you that this paper is a little bit thicker, well, a lot thicker than like those ad magazines. And this is so cool. And I'm going to save that one to show you something else. And then, check this out. This is just like literal, like fabric. This is so amazing. And this is a huge page. What happened to my video again? Video keeps going. Oh. I don't know why the video keeps going. That is really weird. Let me just press the connections, check the connections, and make sure that nothing's coming loose. I did it again. I'm just checking all the connections, doing it again. I can see that. And I don't know why it's doing it. I don't know why it's doing it. There's nothing near the computer. Hopefully that will stay. I just checked all the connections and the connections are all good. Thank you, Jill. I've got Jill added to the list for today's prize pack. Melanie, when I do magazines, I get ink on my hands. So to clean my hands, I will need freezer paper. Makes it really cool looking. Oh, That's a great idea. YouTube is drunk. Yes, I will not doubt that. I do not doubt that, Margie. So this giant coffee table book, and you all know coffee table books, how thick and heavy the paper is. It is really thick and it is really heavy, and it takes a lot more work. I mean, be prepared for that. It takes a lot more work to get it kneaded, but it is really, really cool. I did not do a good job of not tearing this one, a couple of them, but not really worried about that because when I go to use it, I might tear it up anyway. It's so cool. The thicker, I love the thicker paper in getting a much more of a fabric-like feel. So the thicker the paper, thanks, Melanie. The thicker the paper, the more fabric-like it feels. That is really cool. And I will say, the thinner the paper, the easier it was for me. The thinner the paper, the easier it was for me to not tear it because it crunches easier. So I had to be more careful with the thicker paper. You would think that that wouldn't tear as easily, but it's so thick that when you go to crunch it up, it just folds and creates tears. So I'm going to move some of these things out of the way because I actually have some other papers. Let me set these aside too. I have some other papers that I want to do today. So I just started right before we went live. I started this paper bag and it needs more oil on it. So I tried it with a number of different products, I will say, to oil it down. And yeah, those ones on the bottom were still pretty oily because I just did those. Also, they look different when you just do them. When you let them dry, they do get different. So I tried it with lotion. I know people use conditioner, olive oil, a grapeseed oil. Really any oils I think would work. I'm using a coconut oil. I have another big tub of coconut oil, and I'm thinking I'm never going to get through all this, so I'm just going to use coconut oil. So when I first started it, or when I first tried it, I took some coconut oil out and I just put it in my hand and I let my hand, the warmth of my hand, melt it. And I did that. And that, when I did this many years ago, I used cardstock from Stampin' Up. Yes, you can use regular scrapbook paper. You can use cardstock. You can literally use any paper. There is no particular paper that is required or a have to or must to or whatever for this. So any paper you want. So I was just letting the warmth of my hand melt the coconut oil and doing it that way. But then I found the room that I was sitting in was pretty cool. I was working up a sweat because I did this for a long time. And so the room was cool. I left the heat off and it was taking longer and longer. My hands weren't melting as fast. So I put some in a little dish and I stuck the dish in the microwave and just melted the coconut oil. And that actually worked way better. I did that a little while ago and it's pretty cool in my room and I see it starting to solidify again. So then also I did some research with the real Japanese technique of momigami and found that I learned a couple of things. So they do it a lot with washi paper, with origami paper. These little pieces here are origami paper. With rice paper, not like the printed rice paper that we know, although you could, but it already has somewhat the same type of texture to it. But like I buy, they call it a rice paper or they call it a calligraphy paper, a Japanese calligraphy paper. It's really nice and thin. Actually, it's like this. And I really like to gel print with this calligraphy paper. This probably just looks like copy paper, but it is quite a bit thinner. And let me see, I tore it right there. But I do like to gel print with it. So they use that thin paper a lot for the momigami. And what have we got here? I've got some pages from National Geographic here. However, before we get that, I want to do a page or two of origami paper. And then I want to do, these are just gel prints. This one is regular copy paper, and this one is a lighter. I believe that that is the same calligraphy paper. So, and it is metallic, and I'm excited to see what that metallic might do. These are also gel prints, and that one, I just thought that might turn out really cool. And also this metallic I wanted to do too, but we'll start with just a couple of small things. But I'm going to start with this, and actually I'm going to put it on top of something else because it doesn't matter if oil gets underneath it. It'll just help the next one go. This is origami paper. Hey, Carrie, welcome, welcome. We're so glad that you're here. Never used oil or lotion to make momigami. Oil makes it transparent. Yes, it does. Welcome. We're so happy to have you. Love your gel plate. Yes, we love gel plating here. We're going to be doing a lot more of it in the beginning of the year. So what Lucy is saying is true. Yes, a type of mulberry paper is rice paper. Mulberry paper is great to use for this as well. So here's the thing. The purpose of the oil, and well, let me back up. In real Japanese momigami, they do not use oil like this. They use a starch. It's like a plant-based starch. I mean, it is edible. They do use it in food as well, but it's a starch. And they would put it on if I understand this correctly, they would put it on the paper, put the starch on the paper, and then they would just like hang the paper and let it dry with the starch on it. That starch is what gives it that flexibility, like fabric, that kind of makes the paper turn to feel like fabric. Then once it was dry, then they would come back and take that and start the crinkling, the crumpling process that gives us that cool look. So the purpose of the crumpling is not to work the oil in. I think I thought for a while, based on, years ago watching people's videos, watching them, put the lotion or oil or whatever on their fingers or on their paper and rub it, do this. I thought the purpose of doing this was to work the oil in. It seemed like that's what they were saying, but it is not. The purpose of the crumpling is to break down the fibers in the paper. So the thinner the paper, the easier that breaks down. And you just keep doing it. And so you can hear when I pull this apart, it's still hard and crunchy. So those fibers aren't broken down. And you don't get that really cool fabric-like feel until the fibers are broken down. And as they break down, then of course the starch or the oil or whatever you're using is going to get down into the fibers. But the purpose of that starch is to prepare the paper for the crumpling, and it doesn't tear as easy. So what I found when I was putting it on my fingers and just doing it that way, like I've seen people do in videos, was that it took forever to get it spread around and worked in, because I want to be able to see that the oil is everywhere. I don't want to see the dry spots, and so I want to get oil on those, so I'd end up putting them right there anyway. So when I watched them doing it with the real Japanese style, they just spread the starch on, because of course they hang it out to dry first. They spread the starch on the whole thing and then hang it out to dry. So I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to oil it and crumple it, I'm not letting it dry first, then why not just spread the oil over the whole thing first as well? And that works quite well. And it actually saves a lot of time in, just getting some on my fingers and working it in, because again, the point is to have the whole thing covered with that. So once it is awesome, Melanie, once it's coated with the oil or the lotion or conditioner or whatever you're using, olive oil works really well, and pretty much, probably vegetable oil would too. My concern would be that after a period of time, would it start to degrade and go rancid? I don't know. Lucy, do you know? Do you know anything about that? Hi, Juliet. Welcome. Yes, definitely a good way to take out aggression, anger, frustration. And I have found, since doing a bunch of this over the weekend, not a good thing to do with my right shoulder that's causing me problems. So I will probably, I'm trying to emphasize my left hand with this instead of my right hand. But basically, it's a good thing to do while watching a movie, because all you're doing is just keep crunching and crunching. You're just breaking down the fibers. That's the whole point. And I keep opening it because every time I crunch it, I want to do it differently. If you keep crunching it in the same way over and over, you're just breaking the same fibers. So I want to keep opening it and then re-crunching it in a different place. And I can hear the paper crunch. And so if I hear the paper crunch, then I know it's still papery. I haven't broken down the fibers enough. So I'm going to keep going until I break down all the fibers. Lucy, do you know about oil? I know people have used like a vegetable oil. I would be concerned about that going rancid over a period of time. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't once it's, in here worked in and spread out and dried. Maybe it wouldn't. But what do you think about that, Lucy? So this is a piece of origami paper that I'm doing here. And the thinner the paper, the smaller it'll bunch up and the easier it is to bunch up. I do like the thin paper because it is much easier to do. Those thicker pieces like the coffee table books, I love the way they come out in the end. It's like a really thick, cool fabric, but they are a lot more work. They are definitely a lot more work. And depending on what paper you're using, like those coffee table books, they have print on them, the Nat Geos, National Geographic with print on them, book pages. Those did leave me some, ink residue on my hands. That's what Melanie was talking about. Crunch, crunch, need a potato chip now? Sure. Yes, of course. So I think we're getting pretty close on this one. As I open it, I'll just keep rubbing it because I'm working the oil in there to make sure that it's in between all those fibers that get broken. And I can set that aside and even keep working on that because I do want to do a couple of the things. I want to do this gel print. I really want to do this gel print that is metallic. I saw some metallic pieces done by somebody who does actual original Japanese style. And they looked really cool. So this is just metallic paint. This is just acrylic paint off the gel plate. That's what this is. So something that I will say, I'll just tell you some things that I have learned as we go through this. The heavier the paper, so like those big coffee table books, the easier it is to tear. So when you first go to crunch it up, this is probably why, if it's scrapbook paper or cardstock or coffee table magazines, whatever it is, when you first go to fold it up, you might try folding in, corners and pieces and start working it that way. On those great big heavy ones, I even took the page and folded it this way, like this. And I worked that a bit. And then I folded that in half and worked it a bit. And then I opened it up and I did it the opposite direction because that paper is so thick and so heavy. And y'all have coffee table books, I'm sure. And then I did it this way. I worked that in and then folded it in half. And even then, it's still thick, heavy coffee table book page. It takes a lot longer to do that than this. Now this, I can just take this and scrunch it up because it's a thin paper. This is one of those Japanese calligraphy papers that I gel printed on. I really love gel printing on those. And this is copy paper, which is not a whole lot thicker, just lightweight copy paper. So that will crunch up pretty easily too. Hi, Deshelle. Done it with oil. We're just glad you're here. Later, no, we're just glad you're here. I tried it with lotion. I did not care for it with lotion. I tried several things, like a olive oil worked well. I'm using this coconut oil because I just have a ton of it and want to get rid of it. Otherwise, I might be using olive oil, but I really like the way the coconut oil works. And I learned that it was easier even just to melt it. I put it in a little ramekin and stuck it in the microwave and just melted it before using it. At first, I was just letting it, the warmth of my hands melt it, but that took forever. It just wasn't melting fast enough. So this way I can stick my fingers in, I can get more oil, I can spread it on, wherever, or if I've got a corner that just dry, I can just do that, with my fingers. I like the way the coconut oil works. It is really easy to work with, and it's, liquid, but then it will dry nicely. It doesn't. I've always been surprised at how, and maybe that's just me, maybe that coconut oil doesn't really smell like coconut to me. I love coconut. I don't have it very often at home because Doug doesn't like coconut, but I love coconut. And it doesn't really smell like coconut. So he can always smell coconut when I can't because he's so highly attuned to it because he doesn't like it. But I love coconut. So I'd be totally okay if it smelled like coconut. Olive oil, yeah, any of these oils work really great. Yes. So, Deshelle, the original Japanese, the real way of doing momigami, they use a starch. It is a plant-based starch. And I actually, about an hour ago, I thought, I should grab some cornstarch and, make my own little starchy mixture and try it with that. And I didn't. I thought I need to test that and try it. And I could have done it here, and maybe we'll do that on Christmas. So I didn't do that, but I thought the same thing. If there's a plant-based starch, the real Japanese one, then why wouldn't a cornstarch type mixture work as well? So this is, when you start crinkling it up and you don't hear any paper crunch at all, and it feels more like fabric. I mean, you can do it as long as you want. The more you're doing it, the softer it gets. The more you do it, the more you're breaking those fibers down. So that's pretty cool, though. I really like that. So I'm going to let that set aside to dry. And I'm going to do this one. This one is just copy paper, which is slightly thicker than that. So I'm just going to spread the oil on it much faster than little bit by bit with my fingers. Because this is copy paper and it's a little thicker, I'm just going to start folding it. I'm going to try not to just tear it, which is what happens if you just start crumpling it and the paper's too thick. So, it's copy paper. It seems pretty thick. So I could handle it like I did the coffee table books and just do like this. You can really hear the paper crunch. It's kind of fun. You hear the paper crunch, and as you work it, you get down to where it's just soft and it's like crunching fabric. And also you can see the dry parts of the paper here. You can see the parts that have the oil. I don't think I would try cornstarch, but that's just me. I do like cognac. Cognac, yes. Cognac, I need to buy some of that. I've just learned about that as well, Lucy, that cognac is like the same, that is, I believe, I'm really stumbling for words here. I believe that the cognac uses that same plant-based starch. That was the original Japanese. Is that correct? Lucy, I believe that is correct. And so cognac would be a really good option. But I don't know. Yeah, cornstarch. So Lucy, tell me your thoughts about cornstarch. Why you think it might not be a good substitute? I mean, our using all these different oils is really just a substitute for their plant-based starch. And I think some will work better than others. And I think some may give better long-term results than others. And I really want to learn. Sylvia, I don't care if you're tardy, just glad that you're here. Wonder if arrowroot would work. So the plant-based starch that they use is is it devil's root? I don't remember. It's one of the roots. But if you have And I'm sure that there are other plant-based starches. So please share with me all of your knowledge, because I don't know, and I would love to know, and we'll be researching this. So this is getting less and less crunchy, but it's still pretty crunchy as paper. So you can imagine the coffee table books. Sylvia, I'll show the pages I did again towards the end after we're doing this, because I did some big, thick coffee table pages. Arrowroot. So I'm assuming then you can buy arrowroot as a powder, because the starch is dry, oil is wet. So you take their starch, you mix like a teaspoon or a quarter of a teaspoon or something with a whole cup of water, and it makes the liquid. You let it sit, even let it sit overnight, and the starch expands and soaks it in, and it becomes the liquid that you're going to use. Could not use my cognac on paper. Oh, that is funny. Should be licking the paper. Would be worth using cognac instead of cognac, and everybody's licking their hands as they go. Hey, Carrie. Arrowroot is dry. You would mix it with water. Yes, any of those starches are dry, so you mix it with water and let it sit. I'm going to get some more on this, because it feels like it has completely absorbed it, and I want the oil to penetrate everything. So what they do, typical or traditional Japanese momigami, they, like, as I said, they paint that starch mixture on it, and then they let it dry, and then it becomes more like fabric. Then they take it and they start crumpling it like this. And so you're just crumpling it to break down the fibers, and that makes it more, look at this one. It doesn't even sound like paper anymore. This is a piece of origami paper, and it's now like a little piece of fabric. I can still hear the paper crunch in this one, and I can feel it. You know, you can feel that it's not broken down enough to get that feel. And, you know, it strengthens the paper, that starch in there. The oil is going to do the same thing, but that starch strengthens the paper, which is what gives it that fabric-like strength as it's broken. The fibers are broken down. So what I was going to say was they paint that starch on, they let it dry like overnight, and then they come back and take it and start kneading it. And kneading is momigami, or momi. So momi is the kneading. And then sometimes they will take that and they will put some oil on the outside of it. And that is more to make it water resistant or waterproof, putting the oil on over that cognac starch. Yeah, you know, Melanie, I just don't know, because I've seen so many videos, so many different people. And so when it's something like this, that I know that it's a Japanese art, a technique, I really try to go find something that's original to that culture. To find, I mean, you know, we will make all kinds of things work, and yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do what we do, and everybody's going to do what they do, and yay, good for them. That's really awesome. And we should. That's exactly what we should be doing as creatives. But I really want to understand the origin and how it was originally done or intended to do. You know, before we all change it up, and so, you know, they had that particular type of plant starch, and I just don't know about other starches. So, I mean, what about starch that you use in the laundry? But I think that would probably just make it hard and stiff. And I don't know, maybe it would break down. You know, let that dry, put that on first, let it dry, and then maybe it would break down. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you for your support. I'm adding Carrie to the list for today's prize pack. It is packed, all ready to go. It is right here. We showed it at the beginning. I will answer to Jinka, make it easier. Or JK. JKF. That's funny. A lot of love put into paper. It is. It is, you know, and that's the thing about the coconut oil is not bad for my skin, I don't think. So probably good, good for my hands. But I can still hear a lot of paper crunch in this. Again, something to do when you're frustrated, have a little anger that you need to work out, a little irritation. But the whole art of Momi is the kneading, and that's just kneading this until the fibers are broken down enough that it is fabric-like. I love this. I love this. This is just a metallic gel print, and it's, I mean, even sounds like fabric. That's just really cool. And I just did a paper bag. I think I want to keep, I'll probably put a little more oil on it and then keep kneading the paper bag to, I want it to be even softer. I want it to literally be like a fabric bag made out of paper. So that's getting there. That's getting there, but that it's double thick and sometimes quadruple thick. So that'll take a little more time there. For those who came in a little bit later, here's some pages out of a coffee table book of lighthouses, and super, super thick pages as coffee table books are. But this is so lush and like a very thick fabric. It's like a very, very thick fabric. This one too. And the thicker the paper, when you're starting, the more careful you have to be in not tearing it. You have to fold it up first or roll it up and start crunching it rather than just grab it and squish. The thinner the paper, so tissue paper, you can just grab this and just start squishing because it's thin, it's going to squish. But this tissue paper is awesome. It now looks like glassine. It's very cool looking. It feels like fabric. It's strong like fabric. It looks like glassine. That'll be very cool. And I really like, that's also the tissue paper. There's two of them there. I really like the brown paper bag. And so something that we have not done for a few years, this is not brown paper bag. I'm sorry. It's just brown packing paper. Just packing paper. We have not for a few years done faux leather. And I know that's something that several people have asked about recently because we did it a few years ago. It's been quite some time since we did faux leather. There are a number of different ways to make faux leather, and this is a good start for one of them. So I wanted to do some brown packing paper that we can then take and turn into faux leather. But this is the start. Also, white packing paper. Did I say packing tape? White packing paper. Same thing. And we can also turn that into faux leather and make that, any which color we would want. So I also pulled out this paper. It's a really thin paper, and I think it's a Dina Wakley paper and used to tear up and collage with. And it was in a roll, and my roll, it ends up being folded. So the paper is always folded, which is fine for collage. That, actually goes out when you collage on most paper. But if you have scrapbook paper or cardstock or a roll of something that ended up getting squished and it's now got creases in it, this Momigami is great to do with that paper because you're going to put even more wrinkles in it. Yes, love doing faux leather. There are so many different techniques. Wants to iron it. Okay, so I was watching a lady doing real traditional Japanese momigami, and after she did all of the steps, she did take the paper and ironed it because then she used it for origami. She made like origami flowers and things, but the paper being much more fabric-like, folded and went the ways she wanted and stayed endeavored and didn't tear at all. So she did actually iron that. I can still feel a lot of paper like in certain areas. Parts of it are really good. So I will work that a little more, but that'll be kind of a cool piece that would be, very fabric-like. And so, this paper already being colored, that will be cool to do. So let me show you just a couple of ways that you can alter. Like this has metallic paint on it because it was just from the gel plate. And I really, really like that. But maybe I get a book page like this or another piece of paper that is like this that isn't, the color didn't show, because it always, two things to remember when you do Momigami. It's always going to be smaller than when you started. So whatever your size paper, if you're making it for something specific, know that it's going to shrink. Your paper will always shrink, and it's always darker. It's always darker than when you started. So this as a page in National Geographic was not that dark. You could see the images. You can see some of it here, but it is going to darken definitely when you get the oil in it. So there are a couple things you can do to alter. One of the things, let's see here, is that open? Yeah, okay. Hope that is shaken up enough. I'm going to take some acrylic paint. This is just cheap deco art, metallic acrylic paint. And I just pulled out a gold. You could use gold, silver, you could use whatever you want. And I'm going to dry brush. Let's see. I need to turn this a little so I have better access. I should have put it on the other end. That's okay. I don't want too much on here, and I want it mostly on the end. But you can take this and dry brush metallic. Now, the better your wrinkles are, the more wrinkles you have, the more this will pick up. And the lighter you go, the more it'll go on the tops, the peaks of your wrinkles. You could, brush it hard and get it down in the valleys. That's kind of what I'm doing over here. But I really kind of like it just, on the peaks over here. So you can get it down in the whole thing, or you can just get it on the peaks. You could iron it first. You could also do that with a stenciling stipple type of brush. Just didn't have the greatest wrinkles there to show. And actually, I really wanted to try it on one of these really big, thick pages. I'm going to try it on one of these big, thick pages. So let's see, where would we want metallic? Ooh, that is cool. So the thicker the paper, the bigger the peaks and valleys I'm going to have in those wrinkles. I don't know if that's going to show up or not. Maybe you can see the metallic down there. Italian Florentine paper. Ooh, that would be pretty. Yes. Hi, Edna. Oh, you got your box? Yay. Margie keeps kicking herself out. So, yeah, this dry brushing technique is really a lot of fun. And you could use multiple colors, and you can get metallics in multiple colors too. But, because the copper, the bronze, the silver. And so I put just a little bit there. And now watch as I do a little bit more, even over the same. And I'm only going over this darker section on the bottom. But check this out now as I go over the darker section on the bottom. Look at that. So if you wanted to go, if you wanted to do just solid colored paper, you can then completely highlight it, cover it. Got a blob of metallic paint right there. With any color, metallic paint that you want over the top. So another thing that you can do is do that with ink pads. And you could use a sponge to do that. I did it really quickly before we went on. On this side, I did silver, and on this side, I did gold. But let me grab, I really like this super thick coffee table books. They give you much better wrinkles. I really like the metallic on that. I'm going to grab a couple more of these small ones down here. So if I take this, I have a couple of, they're just cheap gold and silver here that I really kind of just keep around for this purpose. I don't really worry about them, but I can just put them over top of things like this and not worry if it, you know, gets something on the pad. So the thicker the paper, and this is a pretty thin paper, but the thicker the paper, the deeper the crinkles, the better result you'll get with this. And again, I don't know if that's going to show up on camera or not because of the metallic, but you can see a difference on this side and that side. You got that metallic, and you can do the same thing with the silver. The silver might actually show up a little bit better. It's not coming off as well on this paper as well as I would like it. So I might take a couple of layers, put some on, let it dry, or heat dry it, and then put some more on. So there we got silver on one end, gold on the other end. But again, let's try this thicker. Also got a white. White on a dark paper would look cool. What if I take this silver and I go up in the sky of this thick coffee table book page? That's cool. So you can completely change. It looks like kind of like a row of clouds up there. You don't have to make it so perfect. It can come down or go wherever or all the way around. You could put metallic gold over the green grass. But yeah, with the metallic, you can completely change that. So you could see that one of the, you know what, I want to try the white. I want to try white on something. I've done it on other techniques, but I've never done it on Momigami. Oh, well, that's interesting. This is a acid-free, fade-resistant, archival-safe, waterproof for markers and watercolors. White. So you could give it even a different look. A black paper done and made very fabric-like, and then do it with the white, I think would look really cool. Or other metallic colors. I can totally see other metallic colors coming into play with these. Would be really awesome. Yes, pieces of this paper would be really cool in collage. That's definitely one of the cool things to do with it. Yeah. You're like, I'd really like some, but I don't want to make the effort to have to do them. So I should probably hang on to them, bundle them together, and sell them, huh, Sylvia? As long as they aren't so old that they're brittle. Yeah. And they shouldn't ever be brittle because I used coconut oil. Okay. And I don't know that I like the white. This is not dark enough that I would like that white. So now I want to, I've got a little bit of white on there. I think I'm going to hit it with gold. And then I might get a little white accent behind the gold, but completely change it up. So this, now that this is you know, momigami'd, and it becomes, you let it completely dry and it becomes very fabric-like. Think about all the things you could do with that. I mean, you could tear this up and use it in collage. That is very cool. And that seems like my most obvious thing to do. But now I'm thinking, what if I were to take this like I take those pieces of fabric swatches and make pouches or envelopes or little wallets out of them. So what if you took it and you could even line it with a book page or a piece of fabric, a silk or whatever, or even two of these together just to make it a little thicker and sew it up, like that. I'd want a more interesting piece than this one, but basically, sew it up there and make a top that comes over with a Velcro closure or a button and loop, closure. And you have little pouches or wallets or envelopes and all kinds of things you could do with those. Something like this would be super cute. And I can still feel and hear the crunch of paper on this, so I need to work it a little bit more. This is acrylic paint on it, which makes it a little bit thicker, but it's starting to feel, and actually where the paint is more where it's feeling like fabric. But look at that. This really just looks like a piece of fabric now. Love that metallic. Yeah. Okay. And so then if we're going to do faux leather, that's when I would take a piece. I would use regular packing paper. And let's see if I've got, yeah. And I end up using a whole variety of colors of paint and other things on them, but where's the lid to that? I have just buried it. But I would start with something maybe like ground espresso. And just start like this. Whenever I make faux leather, there's a lot of different ways to do it. There's a lot of different techniques and things to use, but it's never a one and done. It's never I do this to it and now it looks like faux leather. There's always so many different stages and steps, and you just keep going until you get what you like, or it looks what you like what you like. And it requires multiple steps. So this is a good starting place there. You take that, and so we've added some of that dark walnut. I know that's going to be hard to see on camera, but where you have the wrinkles, it's picked up the dark. And as you continue to work it and do other things to it, those wrinkles become darker and darker and look more leather-like. And after putting that on it, I would even, do more of the Momi and scrunch it. Yay, Carrie. Awesome. And Carrie, you are invited to join us in the Facebook group. The Facebook group is the same name, Happy Paper People. It is a private group, so just go in, answer the 3 questions, and we'll get you right in. It's a private group so that we can keep it a safe place for everybody to post not only your creations, but your questions, your help for others. And it's an amazing family. You will learn to love. You will learn to love. I hope you feel comfortable already. Some amazing people here that are always so helpful. Okay, so I can tell which end. This is the end that I started. And then, I'm jumping steps here, but just to give you some ideas for the faux leather. Dry brushing the metallic. Got a little bit much there, but it's always worse when I'm trying to do it fast and live than when I just take my time doing things slowly. But this will help you to be able to really see. Look at that. So you really start seeing. It's too light. You see right through it. You can really start seeing all the wrinkles and how the metallic picks up, those little peaks. And then I would let that completely dry, and then even go over it with another dark brown and a black and even a reddish, get a lot of different colors in there and textures. And then possibly even some ink, alcohol ink, or these are ink. So liquid ink, there's a variety of liquid ink techniques that I would use to get my leather look-alike. Faux leather. Faux leather is fun, and there's just so many ways to do it. I've done it with watercolor paper and like a paste to create a design, and then using literally nothing but alcohol ink. That was one of my favorites. But there's just a lot of, so with that, something behind it, it's a little easier to see. See how it starts picking up all the grooves. Once you've made an entire box of papers, you're willing to part with them. Yeah. Yes. It's like gel printing. Once you gel print and you have 500 of them, it's easier to send some to your friend Sylvia. Awesome, Carrie. I am so glad. Melanie, you're sweet. Love papers from the 80s that I can't part. Oh, yeah. I'm going to start using my papers to build my coffin. Oh, that's a good idea. Just get the pine box and then start collaging your favorite papers on it. It'll be much prettier. It's just wrong. It would make amazing wrapping paper, wouldn't it? And this, get this completely done. So, and it's pretty thin, but then you could line it with another piece or something else, and it would make a really cool book cover, looking like leather, bound even with leather strap. Do I have? Oh, I don't have. It's up on a high shelf and I can't get to it. I was going to show you another one that I did that was faux leather, bound with leather strap, that I really love. So just so many different ways to do that. So we are getting close to 1 o'clock. I'm going to put names in. We're going to give away this prize pack. You have probably 2 minutes left if you want to jump into the super chat and get in the drawing for that prize pack. I will say that after the Black Friday sale, we put together 19 prize packs. We gave away 19 prize packs over the Black Friday 2-day sale. That was awesome. And that sent me back downstairs to the shop to bring up a whole nother bunch of stuff for the prize packs. So I brought up wallpaper and lace and some old stuff from estate sales and just all kinds of stuff. So there's a whole new batch of stuff now that's upstairs ready to go into those prize packs. And winners, congratulations. Thumbs up. I do appreciate. I'm a paperholic. Make paper, collect paper, wander through town and collect paper books. I'll try to save you a phone book. I don't think we ever get them anymore, though. We do appreciate the thumbs up and we appreciate the comments. You might not think it's a big deal. However, and everybody always talks about the algorithm, and I just hate that. However, I do know that it's the comments and the thumbs up that's what gets YouTube to put our videos in front of people who are like-minded and might enjoy what we do. And that's how we meet new friends. And so we really want to continue meeting new friends because they bring in new ideas and we get to share with each other. And it's just fun. It just perpetuates everything. So please do, as soon as we've ended, come back in, leave a quick comment, give it a thumbs up. You can do the thumbs up now. And that really does help us to meet new friends. Also, I know today is Monday and Christmas is Thursday. And I'm going to go live on Thursday on Christmas. So if you guys get to a point where you've had enough of the family and you just need a little creative time, or you need to come vent with some friends who are like-minded and don't care what you say, get it all out and be done with it, that's all good too. So, but I'm going to go live on Christmas afternoon. I'm thinking about noon, about the same time as we do Jumpstart. So that'd be 11, 12, 1, or 2. And would love to have you come share some time with us in chat. And if you are set up with a camera so that you can go live, or you would like to be, shoot me a private message, because that's the kind of day where we're not gonna teach something. We're not going to have something specific that we're doing. I don't know. Maybe I'll work on some of this faux leather. But we're just going to hang out. We're just going to laugh and craft and have a really good time and just get rid of all the stress from, won't say the family, but from the family that comes from the holidays and all the preparation and all of that. It's just a really good time to de-stress a little bit. So please do come out and hang out with us. And if you are set up so that you could go live, private message me, because I would love to have a whole bunch of you on with me. So you're not just listening to me talk all day, but we can actually have conversation. We can talk about what you're working on, what I'm working on, what we want to work on. We can talk about 2026, because that's going to be a great year. And I'm really excited about the stuff we're going to do in 26. So noon our time, Carrie. So I'm in a mountain time zone. So it'll be 11, 12, 1, or 2, depending if you're Pacific, Mountain, Central, or Eastern. So 11, 12, and I'll go in and create the event today just so it will be there. See, Carrie, that's us. And so actually, hubby we decided that he would work over Christmas because he gets holiday pay. So he's going to be on the road and he can join us in chat. And great, kids aren't coming. It's just us. So I thought, why not go hang out with my friends on Christmas? So Pacific. All right, Carrie, where are you? Are you in Washington? Are you in California? We could talk about pop music. Pop music. Yes, we can, Melanie. Carrie will be on for a while. What time do you think you'll be home? So, Carrie, for you, it'd be 11 o'clock, 11 Pacific. You're in Washington. Oh, my goodness. Carrie, dare I ask, what city are you in? We've got lots of happy paper people in Washington, Carrie. I could go to your profile and probably find it out, but I'll just ask you. Dr. Pepper music. Yes. The great Pacific Northwest. Olympia. Carrie, guess who else is from the great Pacific Northwest? Miss Sylvia. 2 Carries, but they spell it differently. Carrie B and Carrie C. Indigo. We'll just call you Indigo maybe then. Carrie B and Indigo. Okay, I am going to get the wheel of names going here. Little secrets. We like Tacoma. We have lots of friends there, especially Sylvia. All right, I have Margie, Glynis, Jill, and Carrie. Please double check me. Did I miss anybody? I am going to copy and paste these and get y'all in 4 or 5 times. There's 4, there's 5. And please, if you try the Momigami or do something with it, please post in the group. Post what you've done, your steps, what you made, all the things, because we really love to see everything that everybody else is making and even the steps to get there and what you tried, whether it worked or didn't work. All right, let me get this up on the screen. There we go. Yeah, Lucy's in the Pacific Northwest, but above, yeah, in Canada. Glynis is in Canada. Still need to post for last week. Yes. Okay, so please don't scare her. Okay, we're ready to go. I've got the 4 of them on, and I've got y'all in 5 or 6 times there. So let's hit the wheel. There we go. It is rolling. I'm watching YouTube so that I don't call it out before it gets there itself. Whoop, whoop. Congratulations, Carrie. Carrie C. Indigo, our Indigo Paper Queen. Thank you, Edna. Appreciate that. If you guys like to play bingo, go check out Edna's channel. Sylvia, no. Oh, Carrie has great luck in winning, and she's also very generous and shares a lot. So, Carrie, this one is for you, and I'm going to fill this. I always leave it with a few things left to put in it so that I can try to personalize it to whoever wins. So, this one's for Carrie. Congratulations. Carrie hasn't even gotten her box yet from the Black Friday sale. So you need to buy lotto tickets. Yeah, for sure. So, all right. So I'm going to go in and create the event. If you have subscribed and unsubscribe, if you hit all, you'll get notifications so that you'll be able to see the event when it's created for the live on Christmas. That will be just fun. And also, if you have not joined the YouTube channel, the membership part, you may want to consider doing that. We're going to start some fun things beginning in January. We're going to do once a month Zoom Laugh and Crafts, where everybody in on that membership in the membership club will be on Zoom together, and so can talk and see what we're doing, can interact, can just listen, don't have to talk, whatever. But it's a lot of fun because we can just hang out and talk and learn from each other. So who is feeling left out? Well, oh, no. Was a CD bag challenge to make something from a show catalog, and I made a tunnel book. Oh, with the pages Momigami. Oh, Lucy, would you post that? That would be so cool to see. How fun. Well, admin knows a lot of what we're going to do. Well, maybe some of it, but I have a few surprises for admin too. So we'll talk about some of that stuff on Christmas, and then also next Monday, a week from today, that is the last Monday of this year, we will introduce our theme for 2026 and give you a better overview. I'm not going to tell you everything we're going to do because we're leaving room to evolve through the year too, and to add more things. But I'm going to give you some ideas of some of the things that we're going to be doing that I'm excited for with our Monday jump starts and other than Monday jump start. So really looking forward to that. Jill, I just saw that. Sylvia loves you more. Yes, thank you. I would love to see that posted. Carrie knows no more than Sylvia knows. Awesome. Okay. Congratulations, Carrie, on winning. I would love to see what you guys do with the Momigami. Can't wait to see Lucy's tunnel book. And I'm really looking forward to seeing y'all on Christmas. I'm glad it's only 3 days away because I'm really looking forward to that. No agenda, just laughing and crafting, hanging out, de-stressing from the holiday, from all the build up to the holiday, and just having a good time. So thanks for being here, guys. Really do appreciate it. Love hanging out with you, and appreciate you taking the time to leave a thumbs up and a comment to help us meet new friends. So we'll see you all on Christmas. And if not, Merry Christmas to you. Bye-bye.